All right, all right, all right. You looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff-bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Dallas Cowboys. Why the Dallas Cowboys 0-16? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Woo! Boy, that feels good to say that Dallas sucks. Well, anybody out there that's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Or, hey, Jersey guys in the house. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much on the bottom of my heart. Thank you. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free. Fire away, throw it in the chat box. You usually try to check on the chat box, every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So, as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away. Plus also, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour or whatever, 40, 45 minutes, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free, fire away. Before we get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, there's the top link. Takes you to my membership page. I have 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. Second one's called the Lawrence Taylor, and the third membership level is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean the world to me, and I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get. If not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. That way, next time I go live or put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. And then finally, also in the description box below, there's 2 Facebook links. The top Facebook links takes you to my Facebook group. Okay, it's called the New York Giants of Gridiron. It's my group, and I'll say this in every video. Basically, my YouTube channel, my Facebook group, and my Facebook page, which I'll go over in just a minute. It's all called the same thing. It dumbs it down for a moron like me. I don't have to. What's my channel called? What's my page called? Something different than the group. It's all called the same thing, like New York Giants, the Gridiron. Right. So in the group, what do we have? We'll have over 4,600 members in the group. It's doing very, very well. And usually what happens is after I get done going live, I'll spend probably the next couple hours putting stuff in the group and in the page, which I'll just go over in a minute. And I try to get up to 10 things every day in the group and in the page. Whether it's a video, I'm sharing an article, a post, a picture, just something showing some stats and a ball player, something making fun of the Eagles or the Cowboys, which are my personal favorites, right? I try to get at least 10 different things every day. And once the season starts, we have football tonight, guys, Hall of Fame game, right? Browns, Jets. But once the season starts, it's easy to get a ton of, stuff to put in there every day. And not only do I put stuff in there, but if you're a member, members post stuff in here as well, too. So, 7 days a week, if I got internet access, there's stuff going in the group, 7 days a week. So there's a ton of Giants information going in there every day. And then the second Facebook link, right, takes you to my Facebook page, right? I'm the administrator in the page, so I'm the only one that posts anything, but it's the same thing as in the group, 7 days a week. If I got internet access, I'm putting stuff in there. We're at over 2,700 likes, and we just reached 7,900 followers on the page. So probably by tomorrow, if not Saturday at the latest, we'll be at 8,000 followers on the page. Page is really taking off, doing good. As I said, it's the same thing. Once I get done going live, I said I want to spending, at least 2 hours or so putting stuff in the group and in the page. As I said, up to at least 10 things. And I said usually it's a lot more than that, especially once the season starts. there's so much stuff out there with training camp and people just taking pictures and videos and stuff from when they're at training camp and all kinds of things. So it's really, really easy to come up with a bunch of stuff. And I said, it's the same thing, whether it's a video I'm sharing, a post, a picture, something showing some stats and a ballpark, something making fun of the Eagles or the Cowboys, which once again, my personal favorites is easily 10 things every day I'm putting in there. And I don't commingle this stuff. So basically, all the stuff I put in the page, I don't put in the group. Whatever I put in the group, I don't put in the page. So I try to keep the stuff separate. So if you go to the page and you like it and you follow it, there's different stuff than you get in the group. Right. I said, unless I find something that makes fun of the Eagles, and I just might want to share that with everybody. I might put that in the page and in the group. But for the most part, I keep the stuff separate. So if you go to the page and you like it and you follow it and you go to the group and you become a member of it, you get a ton, 7 days a week, pretty much 365 of Giants information every day. And of course, you can't make everybody happy. So, if you're not happy, if you go to the page, you like it, you follow it, and you go to the group and you become a member, if you're not 100% satisfied, you get your money back guaranteed. All right, when all that stuff said and done, and away with, well, let's see, they had practice once again. So the pads will be popping the next couple of days, Friday, Saturday, and then they'll be off on Sunday, and then they getting ready for the spend some time. A little, they'll be practicing Monday, and then they're, I guess, flying to Detroit. Going to spend a little bit of time with those Lions, which is good, really, really good, because we're, Campbell's going to have them ready. Well, it'd be interesting. I mean, wait and see. I mean, right? They were very good last year. They just missed the playoffs. They unfortunately, we got them. That's what Bob Papa says. Right. Sometimes it's not who you play, it's when you play them. Now, the Lions were kind of like the right story, two different, whatever. The first half of the season, they had a losing record. Second half of the season, they really came on, as you saw when they came to Jersey. They really opened up a can of whoop butt on us. Things didn't look too pretty. Daniel Jones had a couple interceptions. Wasn't really pretty. So you can see that the Campbell's doing a very. I tell you what, I almost peed myself when he said, we're gonna. I forgot his press conference when he first got hired, but he brought that, we're gonna bite your kneecaps off. I mean, I'm like, I got a kick out of that, but they're biting some kneecaps. Let me tell you what. So you got to give the Lions a lot of credit. So there'll be a very good challenge for the Giants, without questions. I mean, that's what you want. Instead of beating up on yourselves, you want to go out there and, well, I wouldn't. I mean, the Bears, they're not there. Nah. I mean, unless the Vikings going to outscore everybody like 152 to 150, because they don't have a defense. Let's draft another wide receiver in the first round. Yeah, that's cool. We don't got a defense, but And then, of course, now this is the first time. I mean, if you think about this, you really think about this. This is, kind of, how like how hard the hardest position in all of football, right? The quarterback position. And it's just some teams. I mean, like you can like the Jets. I mean, they just how many they drafting quarterbacks, and gone years and years and years. And I mean, when was the last time they had? We got Aaron Rodgers now, okay, but when was they drafted a quarterback, right? Had him for a good period of time, and he did well. I mean, just some teams, it's just they draft and the quarterbacks and years they can never get a quarterback. It's like, what the F is going on? Why can't we get a quarterback? Well, I mean, if you think about with the Packers, right? Brett Favre, they got him. And the Packers got him in a trade. It was 91, and he went to the Packers. I could look it up on Google in about 5 seconds, but I'm too lazy. So he got drafted by the Falcons like 91. And of course, the moron, who had his draft card. Said Brett Favre, whatever, in the draft. But so then the Packers got him from the Falcons. I think it might have been 92. And when Mikowski got injured, Favre came in. I think it was 92, maybe 93 at the latest. But if you go and you think, right, from like 92 to 2022, that's 30 effing years. 30. They had 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. 30. I mean, basically, it's close to like 15 and 15, right? From what? From 92 to whatever 08 or whatever he was. And then you get that Aaron Rodgers from 30 years. They had 2 quarterbacks, 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Holy cow. So this is going to be the first time. And it's kind of almost like waiting for Brady to just leave the Patriots, right? I mean, but this is 32 quarterbacks, Hall of Fame quarterback, 2 of the all-time greats. Although Favre is not doing so great right now with all of his, I guess, some legal problems or whatever he has going on there. I don't know, don't want to know, but I mean, during time of football, he was good, right? So now we got the Jordan Love era. So I'll have to wait and see how it goes. But I mean, to your point, Jordan Love, hasn't proved himself. It's tough to prove yourself when you're on second string and you're behind, Aaron Rodgers, right? But of course, everybody, I heard some people talking about Green Bay this year because the Giants are playing Green Bay. So something like Big Blue Kickoff Live. They went around the league and they talked to, people from the Packers, all the teams, from all the teams like Miami, Buffalo, Patriots, Jets, yada yada yada, all everybody, even the Eagles, But they talked to one guy, I can't remember what his name was, but from the Packers. But they seem to be kind of high on him. Well, we'll have to wait and see, But I mean, to your point, yeah, Ron Wolf, yeah. Very, very, very good. Did a very good job. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Glanville was making fun of him. What a moron Glanville was. I think he called him Favre or something like that. I mean, you just sit on the bench over there, Favre and stuff like whatever. What an idiot. Absolute idiot. He was, I remember him making fun of him too. Yeah. What a turd. Absolute turd. Well, yeah, the Grits Blitz. Yeah. I think I was 77 with the Falcons. They gave up like 10 points a game. I mean, it was just, I know they beat the Giants that year. I think like 10-0 or something like that. They just, of course, that was Joe Pisarcik and whatever. It was that was an embarrassment. Like, I don't know, they had like 7 or 8 sacks in that game. Yeah, Giants didn't have an offense, so they couldn't do that. That was embarrassing. But I mean, to your point, like with the Lions, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But they were certainly on the up and up last year, without question. I'll have to wait and see. My thing is with the Lions and I can't remember the guys they drafted. What they take a running back in the first round, what pick 12 or something like that. Then they took a linebacker. I can't remember the guy's name. I think it was a linebacker. With their second first round pick, I think what a pick number, I don't know what the heck it was. Hey, let me see here. No, that's not it. I had a thing up here and I got rid of it. I had a tab up here that showed the draft. But I mean, it took some guys. I mean, it was like the line. I think it was a linebacker they took. And a lot of people had him like a second round grade, and they took the running back, and it's kind of like you took a running back and like number 12. There's so many guys. I mean, yeah, must like golf a lot. So we'll have to wait and see. But it's going to be good for him. I mean, it's going to be good for the Giants. Some good quality competition. You know what I mean? Because Campbell had those guys ready. Let's see. I don't know if you saw some of those, a couple of the catches that Hyatt had. Man, I tell you what, he just splitting the defense. Daniel Jones just dropping the ball right in there. And one of them was he was in the end zone. He got past McKinney, and there was somebody else there. I can't remember who was trying to catch him, but he like split 2 guys. and he was stretched out on the end of his fingertips. He caught the ball, fell into the ground, into the end zone, came up with the ball, was looking in the crowd, getting all fired up and everything like that. Man, but who is this? S.I. But this is Giants country. Is this Patty Trainer? Patricia Trainer. Here she goes. If speed kills, then the New York Giants opponents this season better watch out. It's been quite a while since the Giants had multiple skill positions players where the type of speed offered by tight end Darren Waller, Darius Slayton, Paris Campbell, and Jalen Hyatt. Now we're going to go over Paris Campbell in a little bit. That speed has been on full display this summer, and fans are loving every minute of thrilling play after play featuring those and other players getting the chance to torch the defense. Now, Hyatt did kind of start off a little slow. I remember, after the first couple of days of practice, it's like, people were like, kind of, Jalen Hyatt, it's like running with the third team, and he must be, I don't know, he's probably not grasping the offense, and he's struggling, he's off the hard, doing horrible, and all that stuff and everything. And I remember Carl Banks was saying on Believe in Giants, he said he's a third round pick. He's just, it's like his first day of practice. He's not Jesus Christ. All right. So he's running with the third. Even Lawrence Taylor ran with the third string defense. He said it was for about 15 minutes. He always makes a joke of it. He said, I came in there the first day. I was on the third string defense, and I went to the second string defense, and I was on the first string defense. He said, this all happened in about 30 minutes. But so he just went from one string to the next, to the next, to the next. But, you're a third string pick. Of course he's, right? I mean, you're going to start off, you got to earn it. You got to earn your reps and all that and everything. And he earned them with his speed, his ability to catch the ball, hold on. I mean, I haven't heard anything about him dropping passes at all or anything. So he's earned it, and he's just worked his way up. And after a couple practices, he's getting some reps on with the first string, and now he's looking pretty good. He's earning himself. I think it was like the third day. I think it was without the pads, of course, and all that. They said something about Jalen Hyatt finally found his first time into the end zone, but it was like on a sweep or something like that, maybe a jet sweep. It wasn't even like a pass play or nothing like that. So people were still kind of, a little down on him or whatever. But I mean, I'll tell you what, the man's, and nothing better than giving a young guy some confidence, and seeing what he can do. He's playing with the big boys, torching the big boys, running the routes, catching the ball, blowing right past people. Of course, Danny Dimes is dropping it right in there, too. You need a good throw as well, too. Just because a guy beats the defense, that don't mean jack F. You know what I mean? Because if you beat the defense, if the quarterback doesn't lead him far enough, the defense catches up, knocks the ball away, or intercepts it. If the quarterback throws it too far, the guy ain't catching the ball. So, you're throwing the ball 50, 60, whatever yards down the field. I mean, getting the guy pretty much almost in stride like this, where the guys can't get their own. I mean, that's tough. I mean, that's tough. So it takes a lot to tangle, because you're going to give Daniel Jones. You have to give Daniel at least enough time to be able to stand in the pocket that long to launch it down the field. But leading the way has been rookie Jalen Hyatt, the team's third-round draft pick this year. Hyatt initially got off to a slow start, but has since picked it up to where he's now making routine, spectacular catches deep down the field. He's doing a nice job in the classroom, studying, prepping, making sure he's prepared for practice, said Mike Kafka. On the field, he's working through all the fundamentals and techniques we want him to work through. He's made a couple of plays, and he's got to just take it day by day. Hyatt is taking his progress in stride. Said, the only thing I want to show is the quarterback, Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor, the quarterbacks for us. I just want to get comfortable with them, because they need to understand him with his speed and his route running, but he also needs to understand, because every quarterback throws the ball differently too. So he's got to get comfortable with them. They got to get comfortable with him. Hyatt, who aspires to be the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year, nothing wrong with that, made it a point to get open consistently and make plays when the ball comes his way. He credits his growing comfort level in his offense with having done more extra work with Jones, which is huge. Now, they said the one thing, because I think it was in the video last time, talking about the offensive rookie of the year. Now, because with the Giants, it's kind of like, a basketball team. And I think I talked about Michael Jordan, which was pretty stupid, I guess, trying to talk Jordan with the Giants offense. But there's only one basketball. There's only one football, right? And you got Barkley, you got Waller. You're going to have, Cole Beasley's really looking good. He's going to command, if he makes it and he gets in the slot. I don't know who your slot guy is going to, Campbell, who we're going to talk about with his knee. But Beasley, Hodge, Slayton, Hyatt. The thing is be a little bit detrimental to Hyatt as far as trying to offensive rookie of the year is he could be like the home run hitter. He could wind up at the end of the season, like baseball terms, with like 30 home runs, but 60 RBIs. Meaning he doesn't catch that many passes because you only got so many footballs to throw around. I can't see him catching 70 or 80 passes. Not with all the guys that we have on the offense. Trying to keeping Saquon in there, running the ball, and then especially dishing it off to Waller and all these other guys. I can't see him grabbing 70 or 80 passes for probably at least 1,000 yards because we just got too many guys to spread the ball to. However, I can see him with 50 catches, but out of the 50 catches, maybe he catches 8 touchdowns. So like 1 out of every 6 catches is a touchdown or something like that. Like a Darius Slayton rookie season kind of thing. I can't remember how many receptions he had, but he had over 700 yards, but he had 8 touchdown receptions in his rookie season on a minimal amount of catches. So basically, every 6 or 7 catches, whatever it was, he scored a touchdown. That I can see him do. But some of these other guys who might be targeted more, I don't know if Njigba is going to be targeted a bunch with Lockett and Metcalf, but with Addison and Quentin Johnston, they might, maybe catch more passes than him. But also that's just wide receiver. There's other offensive rookies out there as well too, who can do well. So I think that might hinder Hyatt a little bit might be his amount of receptions he might wind up getting. But his yards per catch could be pretty something special. See what else we got? Oh, and here we go. Injuries, okay. Well, nothing. Well, I'm going to get to something in a few minutes here. Paris Campbell was working on the side. Campbell told The Athletic he had a little bit of tendonitis in his knee that they were trying to stay out in front of, get ahead of. Okay. He also expressed confidence that he'll be back on Friday's practice. So now this, once again, this kind of brings to the point where, so you start looking at all the wide receivers the Giants have, and you're like, who are they going to keep? Who are they going to cut? We got to get to through training camp and the preseason games and all, because unfortunately, as we are the New York Giants, right, representing the injuries, right? Not everybody might make it through, so, by default, right? I'm not saying hopefully nobody gets injured on any team, period, ever again. But, of course, it's football. That's going to happen. But, by default, somebody might get injured and take themselves out of the 53-man race, right? So, Campbell is a little bit of tendonitis. They're trying to stay out in front of it. So, does that mean that Campbell, if this was the regular season, would he be? If today was a game, would he have sat out? Who knows? Don't know. Then it comes defensive lineman Leonard Williams, who was not spotted on the practice field. It could be just a maintenance day for him, is what Patty Traynor was also saying here. Jeff Smith with a knee. Okay, he was not spotted on the field. So once again, if Jeff Smith's knee stays aggravated, acts up, whatever, by default, he might be off the 53. Injuries, right? Offensive lineman Jack Anderson, he has an unknown. All right, outside linebacker Hottie did a few warm-ups with his teammates before going back to the side with trainers. And but of course, Dable was talking about quite possibly that, nothing to keep him out, hopefully long term. Hopefully it's just something, somewhat minor, and he'll be back soon. But then, of course, then you have, I'll go with this here. We got Ryder Anderson left the practice with what appeared to be a right arm injury, and he did not return. Now, this will bring me into this article here. Thankfully, he avoided the worst case scenario. All right, Anderson, I don't know. What was it? 2020, when Judge came in here, he's talking about doing stuff to limit the soft tissue injuries. And I believe I remember 2020 was pretty good. I think they did pretty good with the soft tissue injuries. I think they kept it down to a minimum. But 2021, I think everybody, I think everybody had ripped up their contract, and they paid him the same amount. But they also put a stipulation in there that you have to pull your hamstring in order to make the team, and everybody signed it, and they handed it in. So I think everybody by default had to pull a hamstring muscle in 2021 to play for the Giants. It was like the year of the hamstring. It's just so-and-so went to the bathroom the other day, boom, blew his hamstring out. He'd be out. What is going on? So this is I don't know, hopefully not, but this might be turning into the year of the tricep, right? Thankfully, Ryder Anderson, tricep, Wednesday with injury. Pat Leonard of the New York Giants reports the Indiana product is entering his second year after going undrafted in 2020. Anderson appeared in 7 games, 2 starts with the Giants. The 24-year-old will miss some time, but his injury could have been significantly worse than just aggravating his tricep. So hopefully he didn't, blow it out or whatever, like Hassenauer did. So what is it? 3 days? We've had 2 tricep injuries, whatever, 3-4 days. But so hopefully, just something minor. Hopefully he'll start maybe on PUP, right? We'll get him back somewhere along the line during the season, because it looked like it was a very good chance, because he really bulked up. Looked like it was a very good chance he had a good chance of starting. I'm not starting. My bad. Making the 53. Good chance. Now, it wasn't guaranteed, but things were. I think things were pointing in that direction where he might wind up making the 53. What's up, Terrence? Jackson says Hyde is a strider. Yeah, they were talking to him like he was talking about with Bolt. He's saying Bolt. He said he was saying something like he's striding, and you're striding with him. But he was talking, but it's like they're trying to keep up with Bolt. He's like, as you're striding with him, he's still pulling away from Oh man, that's funny. That's some funny stuff. But it's just everybody. Obviously, you talk to everybody. On Big Blue Kickoff Live, Jonathan Casillas was talking about because Jonathan Casillas was linebacker. He played for the Giants for a few years and all. He was on the team in 2016 when we went to the playoffs, and he was also with the Saints, right? But he was talking on Big Blue Kickoff Live today. He's like, like the safeties and everything like that. They're aware. When the guys they're aware. Yeah, you know what I mean? And the last thing they want, because he gets by you. Ain't no catching unless he falls down, or unless his shoelace is under and he bends down to tie his shoelaces. Other than that, you ain't catching him. So you know what I mean? So if he starts going this way, you're going. You know what I mean? He catches up to you. He's going past you. There's probably especially safeties. A safety going to keep up with him if he gets past him? Not happening. So. That's the beauty of that, right? Because if he's on the field, that's all he's got to be is on the field, right? And they're like, oh, crap, there he is. So, snap the ball. If it looks like it's a pass, if he's coming your way, if you got half the field, right, you're backing up, right? So what's that do, right? You're back, your first thing, you're going back. It's not, let me get Waller over the middle. You're going back. So what's that going to do? Open up the middle of the field for Waller, right? Now, who's going to keep up with that? A linebacker going to keep up? Man, did you see? I don't know if you saw it. I seen a couple different angles. Somebody from the sideline showed it. Somebody from the end zone. Saquon, man, I'll tell you what, man, he put a move on a Karake. Woo! And I gotta forgive me. I don't know if it was Taylor or Jones through the pass, but Karake, Saquon came out and he put a move on or so, and then a Karake was kind of keeping up with him, and Saquon went one way, and a Karake, and then Saquon put another move on and blew right past the Karake. So he's running down the field. He had must have 3-4 yards on the carry, but the ball was behind Saquon. Saquon's like running, he's looking at the ball, instead of like, turning around, or coming back to the ball, or give me, make it securing it or whatever. Let me get, I beat a Karake, let me secure the catch here at least. So if he catches up to me, at least we got the 30-yard gain or something, No, he's running. He just looks around. He's 6'1" and back, and he just pulls it in and to the end zone. Man, what a whew. Who the hell was it? Was it Carl Banks? I think it might have been Carl Banks said, yeah, he said Saquon looks like kind of like, he's on a mission. He's on a mission this year. So he looks pretty good. He looks really, really pretty good. So tell you what, it's between like Hyatt, Waller, Saquon's on a mission, So I mean, things are certainly looking good for the Giants. Obviously no guarantees or not like that, but they have a lot of promising thing going on here. Said here, is there an unexpected position battle brewing on the Giants offensive line? We have been talking about center and left guard at positions that are not yet settled, but could right guard. Now this is, because I've heard of it. We got Bredesen now taking some reps at right guard. Now, could it be a competition? Or it could just be like, if Glowinski goes down, we might want to have somebody at least take some reps at right guard. But they're just trying everybody. Everybody's, they got people, a lot of different positions. So, I don't know if it's so much a competition, but we'll have to wait and see. It says for the past 2 days of practice, Ben Bredesen has worked with the first team in the spot, while incumbent starter Mark Lewinsky has worked with the second group. Now, I said, once again, could be something, but once again, you're trying to get, as many people, I don't know, get somebody get some reps at right guard just in case something would happen to Glowinski, which really didn't happen last year. But so I'm not so sure if it's that, but certainly something to keep an eye on. It says Glowinski started all 16 games in which he played for the Giants at right guard last season. Bredesen started 8 games at left guard. Glowinski's 31, is in the second year of his 3-year, $18 million contract. But we can get out after this year with Glowinski. I think there might be like a million or two maybe in dead cap money next season if we will let Glowinski go. But, we have the option. We can get out after this season if we think we have somebody who can fill his spot, or we can keep him for another year. But he is 31, so he's certainly not in the long-term plans. Said it might be much to do about nothing, but then again, could Bredesen's right guard reps be something? We'll see. The combination, the depth chart, and all that stuff, I'm sure everyone's looking at that. Offensive coordinator Mike Kafka said Thursday before practice, we have a plan. So we're working through all those spots, not just at the O-line receiver. There's a lot of groups that we're working through and how to put people in different spots, especially at the wide receiver position, right? That's just part of the constant evaluation process for us. A competition at right guard would be a surprise. Glowinski is entering his 9th season and has been a full-time starter with the Colts and the Giants since 2019. So then we have center and left guard, right? Bredesen was considered when training camp opened to be competition with rookie Michael Schmitz at center and 3rd-round pick Joshua Ezeudu at left guard. But Bredesen and Ezeudu split time at left guard last season until Ezeudu was lost to a season-ending injury. The center competition might be over, though the Giants certainly will be unlikely to admit it. Schmitz has taken first-team reps for the last 4 practices, a pretty good indication that the Giants plan to have the rookie handle that job. So, I mean, you got to be pretty excited about that. Hopefully we have 3 of the 5 pieces in place, right? We got the 2 tackles and we got the center, hopefully for the foreseeable future, right? Hopefully as the next year or so, goes by, we'll have a better grasp at what we might be doing with the guard positions. But hey, you got 5 spots. Quite possibly we got 3 of the 5 pretty much cemented. So it's been a while since we've been able to say that. So is it a finished product? Nope, absolutely not. But to have at least, to say we have hopefully 3 of the 5 for the long foreseeable future, that's not too bad. Let's see here. How will the line eventually shake out? I don't know if you want to box yourself in at this point in training camp or a week. Kafka said, I think we just want to go through our evaluation process and let it declare itself. Bredesen said earlier in the week that it has always been a goal of mine to be able to be versatile and play multiple positions. I said, I mean, that's the one thing, is that, you don't want to just say, Glowinski, okay, you're the right guard. That's you. We're not even going to bother putting anybody else in there practicing. What if happens if he gets hurt? Don't you want to have somebody at least take some reps in there? Now, of course, during training camp as well, and the preseason games, obviously somebody's going to be in there because I don't know how much the starters are going to wind up playing. So you're going to get Bredesen to be getting some snaps in there at right guard. You'll get other guys in there at right guard too. So it just won't be Glowinski. But however, you do want to take snaps with the other guys on the first string because familiarity is huge with the offensive line. So to get somebody in there to take first string reps at the right guard position in between Neal and Schmitz is huge. So, and once again, it's just training camp. Got a long way to go. It doesn't mean it's a competition, but it's nice to see at least they're putting somebody else in there too. Then, of course, we got now this here with ESPN. This is interesting. Terrence, hey buddy, yes, the guards are. Yep, yeah. Big Blue kick was critical of Schmitz today. Big Blue kickoff live. Well, I know he had a what was it? He had a He had a low snap, and I think they said Lemieux was in there, and I think he launched one. I think it was over Jones's head. I think they said it was either Jones or Tyrod Taylor's head as far as a bad snap. Now they were the other when Paul Dottino was in there and John Smeltz. They were talking about Paul Dottino thought that Schmitz got. When he went up against Sexy Dexy, those 2 snaps, the 2 reps that they had against each other in the padded practice, he seemed to think that Schmitz got really walked back pretty, it was pretty obvious he got walked back, that the Sexy, got the best of him. But then John Smeltz is like, well, he weighs him by like 50 pounds, blah, 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 blah. He stayed in front of him. Smeltz is kind of like, well, he got walked back, but he was kind of under control. It wasn't that bad. But Paul Dottino was like, well, no, I think he got walked back, pretty, I think they also told Sexy Dexy just to come off the line like your life depends upon it, And let's see how this rookie reacts. It's kind of like what they did last year with Daniel Jones, right? They were kind of I forgot what they were doing with Wink, but with Daniel Jones, they were telling Wink what the play was, or or something like that. And so, like every time that Daniel Jones dropped back to pass, it was like the guy was covered, and so they wanted to see how Daniel Jones would react, right? And he seemed to take it rather in stride because, not everything's going to be absolutely perfect out there on the field for you. So it might be the same thing with Michael Schmitz. This is probably one of the best, if not the best, nose tackle in all football. Going to want him run up on you. He's going to drive you back 5, 6, 7, 8 yards, right? Let's see how you react, right? So I think they probably did that on purpose. But there were one guy. Dottino thought he got moved. He got walked back, a little too fast. John Smeltz said, well, wasn't that bad. So get him acclimated to pro ball. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Nope. Chuck E. Cheese Tech University is not on the schedule. Nope. So, but I mean, see, that's the good. It's iron sharpens iron. So now John Michael Schmitz, if he makes it through, surviving Sexy Dexy, now he's got a measuring stick, right? It's only going to make him better, right? You don't want him going up against Rutgers, right? So if he goes up against Sexy Dexy, right? He knows what the best of the best is now. Plus, I mean, also if you got Sexy Dexy, right? The guard might chip or help, right? So you got one-on-one, it might be a little bit of a different story, right? But if you got a guard, at least maybe hitting them initially, right? That's going to help John Michael Schmitz. But of course, I mean, John's first year, because he's not very heavy. He's only like 305 pounds, I think it is. You look at him, he's not a huge guy. He's not really bad. I mean, Sexy Dexy probably outweighs him by like 50 pounds. So he's not huge, but he's, obviously has the wrestling background. So, I'm sure he's obviously he's very, very good with leverage and all that and everything, but I'm sure he could probably use to maybe put on a little bit of weight. But if years go by, maybe gets a little bigger, a little stronger. He's only going to get better. So, but I mean, that's who you want him to go up against. Sexy Dexy. That's an eye-opening experience. Let me tell you what. And then we got here. Now, this is kind of interesting because you got ESPN ranking all 14 of the playoff teams from the year before, giving them their chances to return back to the playoffs. And out of 14 teams, they got the Giants ranked at number 13. It's got a little bit of validity to it. Said ESPN, why they're number 13. The formula isn't sustainable. How the Giants won last year, the formula. So the Giants won 9 games last season. 2 of those came against playoff teams. A 4-point victory over the Ravens and a 6-point win over the Jaguars in consecutive weeks. Now, however, quite possibly if the Jaguar game was 10 seconds longer, that might have been a loss. So both required fourth quarter comebacks, something that was a constant in the New York Giants games, like the Vikings. The Giants thrived in the fourth quarter. They were below average by win expectancy in quarters 1 through 3. Yep. And the second best team in football by same metric in the fourth quarter. On offense, the Giants survived by protecting the football. They posted the league's best turnover rate, a metric that almost always regresses toward the mean the following season, taking the team's record down toward 500 in the process. So Coach Brian Daboll got full seasons of Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, neither of whom played a complete campaign during their 3 prior seasons together. Daboll got the best out of his new charges, but we're seeing plenty of offensive wizards fizzle in their second seasons as coaches after surprising matches in their playoff year one. Adam Gase, Matt Nagy are notable disappointing examples, how they took their teams, I guess, to the playoffs, and they looked like offensive wizards and all that in their first year, and they kind of just started fizzling away in years after that. So let's hope that doesn't happen to Daboll. The Giants got resurgent seasons from Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley last season, but can they be stars again? Unlike the Vikings, the Giants are stuck in a division, which is true, in which 2 teams clearly project to be better. The Cowboys and Eagles beat them 5 times last season by a combined total of 159-81. Basically, they doubled the Giants. So it's like, 160-80. They doubled the Giants in points. So not impressive. Both projected to be, here they say both teams project to be far ahead of the Giants this season. I don't know about the Cowboys. The Cowboys might be ahead. I'm not going to say far ahead. I don't think they got better. The Giants were able to thrive last season in key moments, like in the red zone. They were very good. And on third down, they were very good. To sustain their defense and played keep away on offense, it's tough to see the formula continuing. Now, also, one of the things that I saw too, or I heard people talking about, is the Giants face some very good pass defenses this season. The teams were good in pass defense last season, but the Giants are facing them this season. So if you go to passing yards per game, right? So let's. Do I have to go to? No. Okay. Hold on, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. So we're going to go to the top 16 teams. Okay. And the Giants are in the top 16 teams as far as passing yards per game allowed. Okay. These are the top 16, basically the top half of the league. And once again, the Giants are in the top. The Giants are number 14 as far as passing yards allowed at 214 yards a game last season. So at the top, so there's 15 other teams. All right. So let's count how many games the Giants got to play against these top passing defenses. Right. So last season, the Eagles were number 1. Right. So that's 2 games. New Orleans was number 2. The Jets were number 3. Washington was number 4. Green Bay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Green Bay was number 6. Dallas is number 8. Seattle is 16, 15, 14. Seattle was 13, right? Buffalo and New England. So the Giants got to play 12 of their 17 games against teams with very good passing defenses from last season. That does obviously just because New England's number 16 this season doesn't mean they're going to be number 16. Last season doesn't mean they're going to be. They could be better. They could be the same. They could be worse. Injuries got everything. You know what I mean? But I'm just going by last season, right? That that's very good team defensive wise. What was it? I mean, we can. There's a bunch of things here where we had like sacks. The top 16 teams. You got the Eagles in there. You got Dallas in there. New Orleans in there. The Patriots are in there. The Jets are in there. Seattle's in there. San Francisco's in there. Washington's in there. Buffalo's in there. I mean, third down efficiency. Let's see here. Washington, Buffalo, Green Bay. This is defensive third down efficiency, right? So Dallas, the Jets, the Eagles, San Francisco. Let's see here. Obviously, you can go yards per game. San Francisco, the Eagles, Washington, the Jets. I mean, you look at yards per game last year. 1, 2, 3, 4. The top 6 teams, or if you want to go top 7 out of the top 8 teams, the Giants are facing in yards per game allowed. You got San Francisco is number 1. The Eagles are number 2. Washington is number 3. The Jets are number 4. New Orleans is number 5. Buffalo's number 6. Denver's number 7. And New England's number 8, right? And then, of course, then you got Dallas is in there too. You know what I mean? So, so the Giants have, it's going to be a tough schedule. They have a tough schedule. So, I mean, the Giants could literally get, whose list is that? Hold on. Oh, that's ESPN. ESPN. They have it's an article from ESPN Plus. Now, in order to see the whole article, you have to be a member. You have to be a subscriber of ESPN Plus, which I think it's worth it. It's only $10 a month, but there's only so many articles in a day I can read and stuff. But they have a lot of good stuff. They do. Honestly, they certainly have a lot of good stuff. But you can't read the whole article because you have to sign in because you're a subscriber. Then you can read the whole article. Which team they have number 1, who's number 2, and all that. But somebody shared this and it said the Giants were number 13 out of the 14 teams. So they don't have high hopes for the Giants. I mean, listen to a lot of people. The Giants could literally have a better season this year, better players, better season, and have a worse record and not make the playoffs. I mean, they could maybe be 9-8, have a better season, right, and still not to make the playoffs because they have. It's not an easy schedule. I mean, especially if you look at like what they had last season, right? I mean, you got obviously the Cowboys, then you got the Cardinals, but then you got the 49ers, then the Seahawks. I mean, then of course the Dolphins. That's going to be tough. Then you got the Bills. Then don't forget about Washington, right? Then you got the Jets. the Raiders. Okay, then you got the Cowboys. Then once again, don't forget about the Washington. Then we have the Patriots. I'm not so sure, how the Patriots are going to fare. Their offense should be a little bit better this year now that they have some type of a offensive coordinator. I guess Joe Judge was calling their plays last season. I don't know. But then, of course, we have Green Bay, the New Orleans, of course, and House of Horrors and the Superdome, right? Then, of course, I don't know who's the moron that gave us this. We got to play the Eagles 2 out of the last 3 games of the season. Who's coming up with this stuff? I don't know. But, so it's a tough schedule. As I said, unlike last season, when we played the AFC South, they were not, it was not a phenomenal, of course, then we had the teams that we played in the NFC as well. So, it's going to be tough. So, I mean, once again, it could wind up being where the Giants actually had, or if worse comes to worse, they say they might be, I'm not so sure on Mac Daddy Jones. I'm not so, so high on him. The first year in there, he did really well, but did they kind of like scheme it around him? Is he somebody who can just stand in there and just boom, bam, 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 bam? You know what I mean? I'm not so sure about that. I think they could use a quarterback. That's going to have a hard. It's going to be tough because if Tua can stay healthy, right? And the Ramsey's hurt. He's out, not the whole season, but he's hurt. But I mean, Miami should be a tough game. Obviously, Buffalo is going to be tough. Jets are going to be tough. As long as they can keep Aaron Rodgers upright, right? If he can make it through the season, the Jets are going to be tough. So that's going to be a tough division. Yes, I mean, the Patriots could easily wind up in last place in that one. That's going to be a dogfight there. But I mean, as I said, the Giants, the games there, and of course we have the 6 games we got to play in the NFC East are going to be tough. I mean, right? I mean, we tied against Washington. We almost won it. I mean, if we were like 2 or 3 yards closer, Graham Gano's last second field goal in overtime would have probably gone over the uprights, and we would have won that. But to be honest, it was a Darnay Holmes mugged the receiver in the end zone against Washington. But of course, that would have gave them 1st and goal or whatever like that. So they still had to score a touchdown. They still had to gotten a 2-point conversion to tie it up. Then they would have sent it in overtime. Then they would have had to win in overtime. However, the only reason why the Giants had the 8-point lead was because Kayvon Thibodeau. It wasn't because of our offense. It was because Kayvon came in. He got the sack, the strip, the recovery, and the touchdown. Because of that. So if it wasn't because of that, say we were tied at 12, say we didn't get that touchdown, or we're up 13-12, well, then Washington doesn't need a touchdown at the end. They march down the field. They get down around the 5-yard line, they, whatever, get down to 5, get down to 3 seconds, they clock the ball, whatever. March their field goal kicker onto the field, kicks it through the upright. It's good. Washington wins, right? So without that strip sack fumble and recovery and for the touchdown from Kayvon, Giants might have lost that game. So, I mean, we got, as I said, we got, and don't forget about the 49ers. That's going to be tough. So we got a lot of tough games, a lot of tough games. So this is certainly going to test the Giants. That's for sure. Do you think this time next season Kafka is in it? I don't know. Well, I mean, he got a bunch of interviews this year, so this will be. I mean, because this will be interesting because now he has a bunch of weapons. So I mean, if the Giants can go up like another 3 points a game or so, I think it's probably just a matter of time before he gets more interviews, and because there's always going to be job openings, that's for sure. So I think unfortunately, they're always looking. You're always looking for a young, right? I mean, that's a lot of the excitement now is a young mind, right? Somebody who's like whatever 30, 35, whatever years old. What I mean, offensive, minded coach. That seems to be the way a lot of teams are going nowadays. So, so if you can find somebody who's young and good offensive mind. I mean, especially because now he spent time with with Andy Reid in Kansas City, and and Eric Bieniemy, right? But he's spending time with Daboll, right? So he's got a lot of stuff going on up there. So he's young, right? So if he can jack the Giants up to another whatever, if you get him up to maybe 24 points a game or something like that, they look pretty good because he's got a lot of weapons. He's got a lot of weapons. So if we can stay healthy, I mean, we can certainly add to our points per game total from last year, and he might be once again another hot prospect. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can just the way he talks and the way he seems like it is. It seems like he's somebody who can be respectable and somebody you wouldn't mind bringing in and trying to maybe build a program around or whatever. But he's very intelligent. They said offensive minded, and they said he's been around a couple really smart guys. Of course, you spend any time at all with Andy Reid, you're going to learn a lot. So, oh yeah, unfortunately, it might be just a matter of time with him. The trends for the offensive guys now. Oh yeah, that seems. I mean, I can't remember the guy from. I can't remember what his name is. The guy from Miami, their head coach. He was with San Francisco. Young, right? I mean, a lot of young guys. I mean, the Eagles lost their coach, their offensive coordinator. McDaniel. Yeah. It looks like he's 35 years old. I mean, I don't know how old. He's not very old, but he has his he's got some weapons to play with, but yeah, I mean that seems like that's kind of like the rage nowadays. Try to get like a young, offensive minded coach, and give him a chance because it's a passing league and very innovative mind, that guy. Oh, yeah. Yep. Very, very smart. All right, guys. It's been 56 minutes. We'll be back again tomorrow. We got padded practice tomorrow. So the pads will be on. The pads will be popping. Might lose him to college. Well, hopefully, was it Northwestern? Right? That's where he came from. They were asking him about that. Or no, actually, in his press conference today, he was talking about that. He said, "I want to I guess he wanted to nip it in the bud, so they didn't keep asking him questions back and forth, But anything's possible. Anything's possible. College or the pros. So we'll have to say. But all right, guys, Jersey guys and Terrence, good talking to you. We'll be back again tomorrow. All right. So pads will be popping. So whoever spends any time watching me, thank you. If anybody spends any time watching the replay, this once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!